Sure. Yeah. Actually, I grew up in New Hampshire in a small town called Littleton. Actually, it's population 6,000 people. So when I came out to California to study filmmaking, um, I was a little bit overwhelmed when I first saw homelessness. You couldn't miss it. And being someone that didn't have a car, I used public transportation. I saw it even more than maybe most people. So I knew that I had this fascination and curiosity of why there was such a major issue as homelessness. And I wondered, well, I had stereotypes and ideas of why there are homeless people. So I thought, well, let me find out if those are true, why they're true, and just explore my own understanding of such a major issue. So I started making a film back in 2004, I think.
Because that's what all filmmakers do. They make
Yeah,
a film.
yeah, and you're curious about
matter
something and you
what
want
it
to
is.
find out about it, you know. So
Right.
that really was the impetus for that, and so here we are, many years later.
The two main characters are here.
Yes, and Johnny and Lorraine are here in the back. I'm sure you've heard Linda as well, the lovely granddaughter. This is her first film. She's a budding actress. If not. So, Johnny and Lorraine, would you like to come down? If anybody has any questions for myself
I
or
can just stand in
for them. I met Johnny at Union Station. I went to Cal State LA, which is right along by east side of LA, and the trains and buses come into Union Station. So that was kind of my main access point to different areas. And I saw Johnny with his sign, the signs you saw, no booze or drugs, and there was a Visa MasterCard logo. And that was something that was funny. And I think that's what kind of hooked me, because there was this, of course I had a lot of tension and somewhat fear a long time ago about homeless people, about people that I didn't know anything about, that I felt, maybe, just this tension. And that was something that kind of opened it up, and I think comedy can do that. And Johnny obviously was doing that with that logo, so that was kind of the first thing that got me to start talking to him. I'd spoken to a lot of other homeless people and just was trying to figure out what I was going to do. And I did a short film in college. It was 15 minutes, and I had many subjects, people from different backgrounds and reasons of becoming homeless. And Johnny was the one that really stood out, and he was just so candid and open on the camera. And in the beginning, I didn't know about the addiction. I didn't know about a lot of things. I just knew about the wife, but there was just something about him that drew me to him, and I'm thankful for that. So.
And here we are today.
Who would have known it would have had this amazing just transformation? It really just
Yeah.
is incredible and uplifting. So.
Any questions for Stefan?
Very inspiring film. I love the story. I love what Johnny says about not having enough money and then having all this stuff. It's a great quote.
Yeah.
It's very, very true. Reminded me of George Carlin's line.
Okay.
But as I was watching, I was wondering if there's any places for you to use this film as far as for social services and for them to continue with these programs. Have you had any response at all?
Well, that was a major thing for me, and I'm curious, for people who haven't seen it before, how I did in combining both the story of Johnny and Lorraine and also the story of Los Angeles and homelessness and services and police. And I mean, it was really overwhelming to try to fit that all in, but I thought it was really important because I wanted it also to not only be this uplifting, inspiring story, but also a look into what services are in place for people that are homeless, so that you kind of have both an understanding of, or just, there's so many levels and layers behind each person and reasons for being homeless, but there's this incredible system that it's hard to navigate and go through, and there's lots of things you can say about it. But no, absolutely, I'm very interested in whatever I can do to have this film out there with information to support those types of programs. I mean, I definitely support the idea of the housing with services, and I know that's, people are saying across the board, but it's the challenge. I'm not against the police and what they were doing. I mean, they had to arrest people who were breaking the law, but there are reasons that people are doing that, and so how do you really figure it out? Do you put them in prison and hopefully they rehabilitate there or not? I mean, so it's a complex thing, so I definitely want to partner with organizations that are much more aware of the kind of the world of it, and to try to figure out how to use this film to support both people and to promote programs and to help.
Well, now you have
people.
your finished film. You're going to add a few credits.
Yes.
Then you have your finished film.
Yes.
And now you can
Yeah.
start putting it out.
Absolutely, yeah, and I think this is a great start at the Family Film Festival. I mean, Patty, I think this is an incredible festival to really to nurture this type of, it's entertainment. It's, this film the short we saw was incredible too. I really enjoyed it, and
Isn't it great?
it was a nice combination. It made sense to combine these films. So, yeah, I think there needs to be more films that, show it.
Inspiring.
Absolutely, because it started out as a film about homelessness and drug addiction and humanizing that. So it was, it was, a kind of depressing thing, and it's like, okay, yeah, I get that, but I think the life that they lived, I'm so grateful they let me into their lives, that we can share that there's hope in every one of us, every single.
Okay, yes. Yes.
There.
I just have a comment, Stefan, to follow up on that, having seen 2 earlier cuts of the film. And, with a film of this type, taking on such huge issues of addiction and homelessness and city services and everything else, I might have even said to you, you're taking on much too much. You really have to simplify your
Absolutely.
story. And I have to hand it to you. It's you really did it, because in a film like this, you always have questions. Well, what about this? What about that? And you really did answer these questions in a way that was very satisfying. And you also told Johnny and Lorraine's story in a way that was very satisfying, and all in an hour. I
Yeah,
think it's
no,
amazing. So
Yeah.
congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Well, now we
yeah.
all know when we have a subject that's really challenging, who to go to film it.
Yes, no, it's, yeah, and you never know, everybody has a story, and, even Johnny was that man on Union Station holding that one sign. I mean, everybody has a story.
Gosh.
And I think, there should be more films made about people from all walks of life, so it's,
Thank
absolutely,
you.
yes, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Patty.
We have